Hey guys, this is David from theunlocker.com, and today we're doing a review of the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G. Remember the Sidekick? It seems like only yesterday that if you were in high school and you had a Sidekick, you were cool. Seriously cool. You could text, email, take pictures, and chat on AIM, remember that AIM thing? All at the same time. This was a simpler time, no iTelephones or robots. The only other cool phone it had to compete with was the Razr. It was a no-brainer if you were young and had a social life. This thing was the king of being socially connected before being socially connected had anything to do with websites like Facebook, which of course didn't exist yet. Oh, and to top it off, whenever you opened your phone, it flipped out like a switchblade and made the girliest swoon. In your pubescent mind, obviously. Simpler times. Then came the iPhone, Android, app stores, touchscreens that didn't require a stylus, and well, the Sidekick was ripped from its throne. Since that day, the Sidekick did try to make comebacks repeatedly, but with the lack of a true app store and developers, where all the cool phones were headed, it didn't stand a huge chance. So, T-Mobile went back to the drawing board and decided to give it another go, this time with a developed OS so the device could benefit from all the apps already available for it the day it was released. They came up with the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G. So, has the king of socially connected devices finally returned? Let's find out. First off, this is an Android device, so if you're not familiar with Android devices, please head to our Wireless 101 section on the site for a refresher course on Android basics. In this review, we're going to focus more on what makes this specific device different from other Android devices, etc. With that in mind, let's get started by taking a look at the hardware. Okay, first thing when you get it, it looks and feels like a Sidekick. You have this rounded body with 4 large buttons, 2 on either side of the screen, an optical trackpad for navigating tiny websites or through text messages in case your spelling isn't quite up to par. On the back, you have your speaker and a 3.15 megapixel camera, unfortunately without a flash, which means your pictures all up in the club aren't going to come out the way that you wanted them to. But at least they added a dedicated camera button so that when there is ample light, you can at least take pictures quickly. Now, of course, this wouldn't be a Sidekick without a spring-loaded screen hiding a large, well-spaced keyboard that when you get the hang of it, you can actually type really quickly on. Okay, now I have to admit, having owned a Sidekick back in the day, that I would love to have seen that flip-out design that the old Sidekicks used to have, where you could flick here and the whole screen would swivel around. That was pretty cool. Instead of this sliding mechanism that we have here. Now, I do understand though probably why it's not here, and that's probably because Sharp, the original manufacturers of the Sidekick, I'm gonna guess have a patent of some sort on that swivel action. So, again, understandable. Now, regardless though, once you get the hang of the mechanism and figure out the proper way to open it, it does have that satisfying feeling that is pretty much required when opening a Sidekick. Now, since this is an Android device, you may be wondering, where are my normal Android buttons? Home, back, menu, and search. Well, 3 of those are present here, plus a new button. Here is back, menu, and home. Then, here is the 4th one, and it's called the jump key. And it brings up a list of your most recent apps, plus one shortcut here at the top to an app or an action that can also be set up to launch whenever you swipe up on the lock screen. So this button also does something else that's kind of cool. You can push it in conjunction with a letter or a number key on the keyboard to open specific apps, websites, and even contacts. This, when used appropriately, can not only make using the device go faster, but can make you look a lot cooler. So say you're in high school and your friend just gave you a girl's number because she's too scared to give it to herself. So you pop it in your phone, then you forget what she looks like, so you check your picture gallery to see if you got a picture of her. You don't. So then you decide to go to Facebook. You find her, and you realize she's cute, so you text her something super smooth like, "Sup." Then, you head to Twitter to let everybody know that after that super steamy text, you're officially an item. Finally, you check Google because you just remembered you only date girls with good reviews about them on the internet. Okay, ignoring the fact that my high school kid impression is of a complete tool, you get the idea. You can do things not just faster, but you can look a lot smoother doing them, which is important to a high school kid with a sidekick. Okay, so let's check out the software. Part of the sidekick experience has always been being socially connected, and this sidekick is no different. Added to the normal Android operating system is some custom software that aims to do just that. Let's take a look at some of the major changes that they've made to Android on the Sidekick 4G. First thing you'll notice is a slight change to the launcher. They've added a quick shortcut to the phone, contacts, and a little revamp of your normal app shortcut. Now, as with most Android devices, the manufacturer has added some apps pre-installed that they thought you might like. On the Sidekick, these include a diary, a memo pad, a Drive Smart app, which allows you to send auto responses whenever you get text while you're driving, turn on Bluetooth automatically, that kind of stuff. A sharing media tool called AllShare that will allow you to share music and videos and files with a computer on the same Wi-Fi network as you. A theme changer, and a few others. Besides these, though, there are a few changes that they've made that are a little more significant. The first of these is what they've done to the Contacts app. The Contacts app now syncs directly with Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace, which I didn't even know still existed. But this allows you to do things like see your friends' status updates, and even their pictures and videos that they've uploaded to their different social networks, all in each of the contacts' profile. It's nice to see these things integrated into the native apps instead of having to rely on separate third-party apps. Along the same lines, they've also added a widget for your friends' statuses, etc., and a convenient spot in the notification drop-down here to be able to compose messages and statuses to one or all of your social networks at the same time. The last big addition is called group texting. This app allows you to add multiple contacts into a group and then text them simultaneously. They both get the text, or all of them get the text, and then when either or any of them respond to you, everyone in the group gets that reply as well, basically turning it into a chat room of sorts. The neat thing is, too, that it works regardless of what device your friends are using. For more info on how to use group texting on the Sidekick 4G, head to our Sidekick 4G basic how-tos, linked to at the bottom of this page below this video on our site. Speaking of things beneath this video, check out the camera quality by taking a look at the photo and video samples underneath this video. So, you may have noticed me referring to high schoolers and teenagers a bit in this review. That's not to say that an adult couldn't use this device. I mean, it's running Android, so it can do basically what any other Android device can do for the most part. But with that being said, its main focus isn't getting work done or meetings or even simple controlled distractions. Its focus is on being completely absorbed in social media, texting, stalking your friends, and in just being a sidekick. I mean, how many other phones do you know are tricolored? So, because of how good it is at all of these things, I have to say that in my opinion, it's a perfect device for a teenager.